gigantic mansion for $70 million. Accused trafficker is urgently selling his mansion, raided by Homeland Security in a major trafficking probe in March, listed for $70 million. Reports suggest he's desperately trying to flee Los Angeles because he hasn't been arrested yet. He knows it's coming anytime. So, you want to buy that house for $70 million? It's probably a good deal. Who the hell would want to live in California? I mean, I don't. But 741,000 views. Wow. And we got Wild Bill, and he says, I really think that you shouldn't be eating beef anymore. Oh my God, just go away, dude, please. Please. Well, we found out that the cows are farting, so we have to stop them by giving them vaccines. We can vaccinate them against this horrible gas. Have you ever driven on the 5 and you try to go up to San Francisco? It really smells. It really smells when you're going up there, folks. It's just so disgusting. So if we vaccinate them, then of course, I'm not going to slip anything weird in there. That won't happen. It'll all be above board. I promise you. I won't do anything creepy or weird at all. It's all going to be very normal. Thank God. Can we please get on with it? I mean, anyway, here we go. SP Wild Bill demands that you stop eating beef, claiming that cow farts are causing climate change. You can either fix the cows and stop them doing that, or you can make beef without the cow. Yeah, either one sounds really great. So this is July 3rd, 2024, 3:36 p.m. my local time. Now, this was very, very interestingly timed because it was only, I think 10 minutes is wrong. It might have been a little later than that. Yeah, no, I talked to her. My session started at 2 o'clock. And so I was on the phone from 2 to 2:45. The post appears like, it wasn't 10 minutes. I was a little bit off on that, but it was within a half an hour. And when I was on the phone with my therapist, and the Alliance is obviously going to be listening to these calls because I'm a person of interest, and they probably consider me a national asset, I imagine. Sure they do. So they're listening to the national asset. I've been told there's actually like 30 people listening live to any of my phone calls. And I specifically talked about this beef business, which is one of the things that Savati is getting ready to do. It turns out that we have a company that has invented a type of feed for cows. And when you feed the cows this material, which is organic and natural, and I'm not going to go into too much detail, instead of growing for 30 weeks into development, they grow 15 weeks, 15 months instead of 30 weeks. They only grow 15 months, so just over a year. They do not fart. They have no farts anymore. And I was going into detail talking about this with my therapist, and the fact that meat is like this tasting, it's better than raw meat, it's incredible. Because when they get fed properly, the meat comes out very, very nicely. They don't fart, they grow in half the time, and it's affordable. So this company already exists. I haven't worked out the deal yet of moving forward with them, but I probably will actually in the future begin promoting this product because these steaks are going to be the best steaks you've ever had in your life. I haven't gotten to try them yet, but I'm very excited about this just because of the lack of methane. And yet here you got Wild Bill saying, well, we need to vaccinate the cows. I won't put anything weird in there, I promise. It's all going to be very legal. Sure. Well, the point is I've been geeking out about this on the phone with my therapist, and within, I guess it was like a half an hour, 40 minutes, the Alliance posted that exact subject. And, I don't want to see us, inoculating all of our cows because he's probably going to put something in there that shouldn't be there. So this, to me, it was a dazzling synchronicity. I couldn't say thank you, Alliance. Thank you guys for giving me these comms. And then I began digging in and I said, I got to start reading Michael Prophecies Book 1 again. So this thing was the next day that I did this. It was really pretty soon. And when I went into the file, it was last open on page 403, which was a reading from June 19th, 1997. This is so mind-blowing. Archangel Michael kicked in his synchronicity. We got 15 minutes before 4 hours. I'm going to make it. One voice said, I want to learn more about this stuff. Different voice said, you really do like that, don't you? The third voice says, yes. Then they said, the famous basketball player, Bill Gashtulo, he really likes that stuff. So holy crap, Bill Gashtulo, it appears to be about Bill Gates, and they've just given me this com. And remember, gastrointestinal is like, I just burped, right? Gastrointestinal means the stomach tract, Gastric is another word for it. And then gastrology is the science of food cooking. So Bill Gashtulo wants to mess with the food supply. He wants to mess with your gastrointestinal tract. And he really likes that stuff. He wants to inoculate the cows. And then the first 3 lines here, I want to learn more about that stuff, and you really like it. Well, that's talking about this new beef that when you feed them properly, it's incredibly, incredibly tasty. It even puts Wagyu beef to shame. So unbelievable synchronicity. That's like the very first thing I read when I decided to go back into the Michael process. I couldn't believe it. And then he goes a step farther, Michael does, prognosticating this coming UFO disclosure. So what's the very next line? You are about to see UFO sightings unfold. Oh my God. I was thinking about an article in USA Today with a picture of the Phoenix Lights flying wing UFO. And Michael says, tomorrow it will become something different. You are about to see this unfold. The UFO cover-up cannot go on indefinitely, though it may go on longer than you might think. Wow. This is so exciting because, again, Michael reached right through time, right into the present moment. I'm talking about this beef product. The Alliance does this Bill Gates thing about cow farts. Then they talk in the prophecy here about how good the meat is going to taste, this new product that we have. And it immediately goes to UFOs are about to unfold. You're going to see mass UFO sightings. I think this is true. And then to make it even better, the very next Alliance post after this was Candace talking about the disturbing origins of NASA, a 10-minute video, 101,000 views, where she exposes the disturbing demonic origins of NASA, revealing the crucial involvement of famed occultist, Aleister Crowley confidant Jack Parsons, the founding of Jack Parsons or Jet Propulsion Laboratory. He was the godfather of modern rocketry, and he played a sinister role in NASA's creation. And it starts with, flanked by Devil's Gate, the desert lands outside of Caltech. Some locals believe the mouth of Arroyo Seco was a portal to other dimensions. For Parsons, it had 2 uses. He tested rockets there, but years later he returned to conduct ceremonies and rituals with other occultists in the same spot. I have to say, Candace does an amazing job with the narrator voice. She constantly changes her inflection and delivery. Every sentence by sentence, she's all the emotional flavors and context, which is really what you have to do for the best radio voice possible. She does an amazingly good job. I highly recommend you go back and watch this. It's funny, and she's talking about the fact that they were actually getting visible negative entities to appear in these ceremonies, and that he was working with Aleister Crowley, he was working with L. Ron Hubbard, who actually wrote Doom, right? No, that was Frank Herbert, I'm sorry, but L. Ron Hubbard did Scientology. So Herbert and Hubbard is easy to get confused. But again, they're near each other, and so why would they be telling us right now about NASA and evil alien connections to NASA? Well, maybe they were in contact with these aliens. Maybe you're going to learn that. Maybe this is the disclosure that's coming. This is all very integrated. I mean, it's amazing. I'm so excited, folks. Then we have the next British Prime Minister who says, oh, let's just leave Jimmy alone, leave him in the ground, don't bring up any of this stuff. The possible next Prime Minister, Keir Starmer of the UK, did win, by the way, was the director of the Crown Prosecution Service when the decision was made not to prosecute Jimmy, went on to become the world's most prolific criminal. 126,000 views. They talk about elite trafficking rings, the next post on July 4th, how the UK ruling elite have abused people via trafficking. British elite, including members of the parliament, are involved in these various horrible crimes. Both major parties have engaged in this. Following UK elites have personally defended high-profile people from prosecution. King Charles, David Cameron, Rishi Sunak, and now the new Prime Minister. The victims of this lobby are Ukrainian children, young members of low-income families, and migrant kids. Numerous high-profile figures have been implicated in war. John Stevens, head of Scotland Yard, Sir Peter Heyman, senior diplomat. They manipulate the legal system to evade justice using their power and influence to cover up heinous crimes. Victims and whistleblowers face relentless intimidation and threats. Following organizations have lobbied to normalize this behavior. Peter Tatchell Foundation, PI, National Council of Civil Liberties, ILGA. Every year, approximately 43,000 children under the age of 16 fall victim to this misconduct, and the evidence points to the highest levels. There's about 116,000 views. And they had one about when they banned fireworks. As you celebrate Independence Day tonight, remember what happened in 2020 during the pandemic. California banned the use of fireworks. Brave patriots stood their ground and said, "I will not comply." Never complied, never surrendered. This was another one of these really, really freaky matrix type of things. My computer was talking to me because I had written pretty much the same thing in my journal. And they must have read that and then they posted it. Okay, I just said, I'm never going to give up, never going to back down, I'm never going to be intimidated no matter what people do, no matter how many trolls I get, I am going to keep going. And I was very inspired. Again, thank you, Alliance, because you posted this after I wrote that. And I am very honored. So thank you guys so much for that. 93,000 views on that one. Then we find out RFK has gotten himself in lots of trouble. He's not really going to be able to run because of these things. He was accused of abuse by his former nanny in 1999. Eliza Cooney was in her 20s, said that he was 45. He stood behind her in the kitchen, groped her. He was asked about this and said no comment. He said he had a very rambunctious youth. In my announcement speech, I have so many closets in my skeleton, so many skeletons in my closet. If they could all vote, I would run for king of the world. And this actually came out in an article where he's eating like a barbecue dog, and I don't want to show you that picture. It's so freaking gross. They found out, yeah, the doctor said he's got 13 ribs, he's got a floating rib, it's definitely no. That might have been how he got the parasite in his brain. Yuck. Anyway, this also has a code in it because it's 31 seconds. We've read this one before. World stalemate. We have all the goods on everyone else. It's part of the reason why some things tie back to foreign heads of state will not be revealed. They will remain classified. We're still at 6,100 views. Thank you, guys. It's a huge audience. We are in one of the most critical times for our country. T and others are working to balance what we're doing for America, for the common person to endorse. At the same time, we want to purify the government, remove the bad actors who are entrenched. There's so much string pulling and blackmail. We need to cut this off, truly regain the power the patriots have granted us through the votes of the hardworking people of this great country. So, yeah, that's big time. They're saying we're getting ready to purify the government, remove bad actors. It is coming, folks. So, sure enough, DHS is preparing for quote-unquote plausible blackouts. This was featured on X-22 report. It wasn't part of Ezra, but it still deserves to be seen. DHS simulated war games preparing for plausible nationwide droughts and blackouts. Story link below. It's from Gateway, you know what. Here's the link. DHS has been conducting political war games to prepare for potential climate change emergencies. Oh, I'm sure that's what it is. According to a report from the War Group. These include nationwide droughts, wildfires, hurricanes, blackouts, and water crises. They would love to have something like this happen. They would love to get the big distraction they desperately need. So again, the point is, whether it's a fake alien invasion, whether it's a nationwide blackout, whatever it is, they're trying so hard to stop this from coming. So again, please be prepared for any plausible disasters that they might try to cause. So anyway, here's the post. Go through all this if you want to stop it and pause it. Scenario number 1, water flows. Scenario number 2, great power disruption. Scenario 3, day 0, which they say, critical energy infrastructure could be affected. Drastic cuts to harshly impact citizens and businesses. Then, sure enough, we had a weird power outage where Amtrak between New York City and Boston is halted over a power outage. Oh, that's a foreshadowing. And they had this funny thing about Jimmy being buried diagonally. I guess the whole world could kiss his ass, right? That's the old joke. Hope they buried me upside down so the whole world can kiss my ass. The friend of King Charles, the new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Keir Starmer, is buried at a 45-degree angle. And to bring out some Damien for you, 500,000 views on that one. Then this is very sad. Michigan ordering thousands of dollars worth of raw dairy destroyed. I mean, I did get hives from eating raw dairy once, so you got to be sure. But anyway, this is kind of just government intrusion in our lives. It's really not very fun. We are, I guess, going to go a little bit over 4 hours, but you guys are all still here. We got 6,100 people, so we're going to keep going. First Cooperative was ordered to destroy their raw milk, raw butter, and other raw dairy products in their inventory by the Michigan Department of Agriculture and Rural Development through the licensing industry. They were selling raw milk under a feeding license. The dairy products were labeled as pet food, which is a common trick or distribution venue they use in other jurisdictions. But Michigan claims it's not allowed under feed licensing regulations. They were given a cease and desist on May 28th, and on July 3rd, they were ordered to destroy thousands of dollars worth of raw products. while being observed by feds. The local very sad. Few positions allow for this direct knowledge. And of course, earlier says we're returning to the comments about Pelosi and John M. and the reasons. Big picture stuff, few positions allow for this direct knowledge. Proof will begin on 11.3. We sincerely appreciate the work you are doing. Keep up the good fight. This flow of information is vital. God bless you. They also had a post where they were sincerely appreciative this was on TV. They took it down, but it was up there for a long time, and that was also really wonderful. I felt personally honored by that. Again, they've done some really crazy time loops for me this week with Bill Gates and all that stuff. It's really fascinating. Proof to begin 11.3, that again means that you can learn about that we've been under occupation, enemy occupation. Expect big stuff, folks. We had another hazardous material spill in North Dakota. Health officials are urgent warning after a train carrying toxic materials derailed and exploded. Fireball, again, they're trying to poison us, trying to create disasters. It had ammonia, sulfur, and methanol expelled from the wreckage and toxic smoke. Ammonia is the biggest risk. If you're exposed to this, it can cause burn to the eyes, nose, and throat, so as blindness, lung damage, and death. Health officials say they currently have no plans to evacuate, but may look to clear the towns nearby if the wind switches. Cause is currently unclear. Well, yeah, it's another one of these weird, deliberate things they're doing to try to create as much chaos for distraction. This one didn't even get noticed by media. Almost 200,000 views there. 5 seconds of the video leads to post number 5. Follow the money. What is her net worth by one example? We already read this one, actually. So they reiterated the same one before. Truth is mind-blowing. It cannot be fully exposed. Many are thinking from one point of view, the U.S. only, but this is a globally embedded evil. The U.S. is the first domino.